Hi everyone, Jenny Gillen here with a crash course in balance. And a reminder that listeningbeyondhearing.com.au/events, there's the one coming up on the 29th of May in Sunday afternoon, which is an analysis afternoon. So if you're up for that, please come along. It's a virtual workshop and go there. Now, today we're going to talk about balance. So the first thing you're going to ask yourself when you're looking at balance is, what are the instrumental roles? Who is doing what? So we've got melody, harmony, bass, and rhythm. And I like to use the words foreground, middle ground, and background to describe what those roles are. So your question then is, who keeps these roles? Who are playing these roles? Who is playing the melody? Who is playing the rhythm? Who is playing the harmony? And who is playing the bass? So that's your first question. Who is doing what? And then what about these places them in that particular role in the balance of the piece? So what about the melody places it in the foreground? What about the harmony places it in the midground? What about the bass places it in the background? So you might want to brainstorm some of those, but some of those things I find is rhythmic complexity, can place it in the foreground, middle ground, or background. Dynamics, if something's louder, it's more likely to be forward. Tone color, if it's brighter or harsher, it's more likely to be in the foreground. So always with analysis, it's not just what is it, but what reasons can you give for the way things are and who's playing what. So there are the three levels that you can talk about. The other thing about these things is sometimes this changes. So something that's playing in the foreground may be shifted further to the background. The other thing that's really important when you're talking about balance is that you use the word balance in your answer. So if it asks about balance and you use the word and say something like brings the instrument further forward in the balance. So using that word balance in your answer will help strengthen and make it sound more clearer too. So of course, does it change? Does it start in the foreground and then go to the background? Why? What would happen in those? And again, you go back to here. Maybe it started in the foreground, but then it became less rhythmically complex, which made it go into the middle ground. Or maybe it started in the foreground because it was at a loud dynamic, but then came softer, went down the octave in terms of pitch, which made it softer, which brought it back to the background. Okay, so here's an example of balance analysis. Here's one I prepared earlier for you. So this is what I would say. I would actually talk about the levels and talk about the reasons for that. So I'd say the flute plays the main melody and is in the foreground. And if you wanted to make sure you're dealing with the question of the balance, due to higher pitch, use of accented syncopation, which creates rhythmic complexity, bright and clear tone color. Next one. So this is the guitar plays the harmonic role and is in the mid-ground of the balance. Through use of finger-picked notes, arpeggiated chords, even quaver pattern, repeated ostinato, warm, resonant, blended tone colors due to softer dynamic, and finger picking. So it's in terms of the technique. And then we have in terms of here in the background, we have use of comfortable mid-register as well. So register gets a look in. Then the bass guitar plays the bass role and is in the background due to use of slower, longer rhythmic values, repeated notes, which outline the chordal structure, softer dynamic, warm, mellow, muted tone colors due to low pitch, and playing with a relaxed technique. Now, once you've done all that, then you can also talk about the particular words, which are homophonic, polyphonic, biphonic, and all those sorts of words. So you'll find a whole thing in the chapter of balance in Listening Beyond Hearing, which is my textbook. If you're using that, it's worth looking those up. And there's also a video which has all those different textures that you can look up. So if there are any questions, please let me know. Good luck with your balance analysis, and maybe you could pick something that you're listening to and see if you can even just do what I did. List who's playing the melody, who's playing harmony, who's playing bass, and give some reasons for why they are doing that in terms of pitch, tone color, and so on. Thanks very much. Bye.